Good morning. Today we are going to talk about schools around the world, Unit 14, Lesson 3 and 4. Okay, we have to do jobs at home. What jobs do you have to do at home? Bit after me. Sweep the floor. Sweep the floor. Okay? Make your bed. Make your bed. Do the washing up. Do the washing up. Dry the dishes. Dry the dishes. Set the table. Set the table. Okay? Let's listen to the most important vocab. Do the washing up. Do the washing up. Do a survey. Do a survey. Dry, dried, dried. Dry, dried, dried. Dry the dishes. Dry the dishes. Set the table. Set the table. Sweep the floor. Sweep the floor. Make the bed. Make the bed. Do jobs. Do jobs. Bookcase. Bookcase. Okay. Now let's talk about some opposites. To change the words into the opposite, we can use in. This is a prefix. اوكي مقطع بنحطه عشان نحول الكلمه للاوبزيت بتاعها في بدايه الكلمه. يعني مثلا correct opposite in correct. correct opposite incorrect. formal opposite informal. formal opposite informal. possible opposite impossible. Here we use im to change possible to the opposite. possible opposite impossible. patient opposite impatient. patient opposite impatient. necessary opposite unnecessary or necessary. Okay? necessary opposite unnecessary. usual opposite unusual. usual opposite unusual. Now we are going to talk how to ask questions. Some questions are formal questions. Okay? When we talk to strangers or people we don't know, we use formal questions. Do you mind if I? Do you mind if I? Like, do you mind if I ask you some questions? Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Here we say no, I don't mind, or not at all. Not at all. Okay? Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Do you mind if I ask you some questions? No, I don't mind, or no, not at all. هنا لما اقول no I don't mind او not at all يبقى انا هنا بقول ما عنديش مانع في الاسئله. اوكي. Another way, excuse me, could I ask you some questions? Could I ask you some questions? هنا to say yes, yes of course, or sure. Yes of course or sure. Another way, could you tell me whether you have to make your bed? Could you tell me whether you have to make your bed? Whether, repeat after me. Whether equals if. Could you tell me whether you have to make your bed? Yes I do. يعني أيوة لازم أرتب سريري أو no I don't. Okay? الأسئلة دي أنا ممكن أستعملها في أسئلة تشوز زي هنا مثلا choose. Hello, do you mind if I ask you some questions about your home? Number 2, hi Tamer, is it okay if I ask you some questions for our homework tonight? Number 3, Miss Iman, you wanted to work here. Could I ask you some questions about where you work now? Number 4, hi Magda, Can I ask you which jobs you have to do at home? رد هنا that's fine. That's fine. ممكن يجيلي السؤال dialogue. Salma is doing a survey about people's jobs. Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Do you mind? Do you mind if I ask you some questions? What would you like to know, Salma? Could you tell me whether you enjoy your job? Could you tell me whether you enjoy your job? Oh yes, I like teaching. How long have you been teaching? I have been teaching for about 15 years. Another way, يا جماعة, mini dialogue. Excuse me, could I ask you some questions? Sure. Yes, of course. Do you have to do jobs at home? Of course. Okay. A بيسأل سؤال بيقال له I don't have to sweep the floor but I have to make my bed. What do you have to do at home? What do you have to do at home? Thank you.